Hello everybody, this is Like It's 1985 and this is my review of Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Ultra Magnus. And here of course is Ultra Magnus in the vehicle form. And as you can see, it does roll reasonably well. The figure actually does come packaged in robot mode. And as you can see, it does have some weapons which attach to the figure, or to the vehicle mode. And I use that word attach because there's no integration at all or no attempt to hide the weapons. So you do have this gun here. Pretty basic. I'm not too crazy about it, but it's there. And it can be wielded by the robot mode. And then you got this sword here, which actually does come in two pieces. It actually comes apart, and I'll show you that in a second here, but look at the nice detail there, nicely painted, nicely sculpted. But you can't actually separate the sword into these two halves here. I'm not sure why you want to do that, but you know, you can if you really want to, but really I don't see why you want to do that. So that is the sword. So comparisons, well, as far as size, well, you can see it does fit in my hand, but let me show you some size comparisons. Let me bring in Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Hotshot, aka Bumblebee, and there you go, comparison. Next, let me go show you Dark Moon Deluxe Class Skids here, next to Ultra Magnus, and you can see just the reduction in size we're getting as Hasbro, you know, releases newer Transformers toys. The actual robot mode, as we'll see, is not that bad, but the vehicle mode in terms of scale and size, not so great. But I do like the colors on this. A really dark blue, red, of course white, Autobot symbols there. Just the whole color scheme reminds me a lot of Ultra Magnus, which the Generation 1 Ultra Magnus, that is, which I'm sure is what Hasbro is intending. So there you go. Transformation. First thing, let's go ahead and start with the legs, and the whole section here are going to become the legs and the feet. So I'm going to go ahead and take this section and untab the legs first, and then fold out the legs and bring down the feet. Now there's not really a way to attach the waist to the torso securely. I'll get to more of that into the robot mode evaluation in the articulation. But moving on, up front, you want to take the bumper here and separate that, and these pieces just get rotated all around. They're each on a ball joint. The actual arms here are attached via a slot and a tab. You can see right there, tabs into the side of the vehicle form. And we go ahead, and there's actually a automorph feature. As you move the arms up, it's on a mechanism so that when you move the arms like that, well, bam, out pops his head. So there you go, you have that. And let me go ahead and get the arms transformed here. I'm going to take and unfold the arm like that, and you want to rotate so that the actual tire and wheel is on the inside. Get the hands rotated around, and these just sit on the back of the arm like that, I believe. You can rotate them around if you want, but I think it's supposed to be like this. So you have the red piece here at the elbow, and we'll do the same thing over here, of course. And actually, you want to do this here. You want to make sure you have this locked in place. That's why I was having trouble just a few seconds ago. And that should sort of lock it in place. And so when you move the arms around, it's not going to automorph the head back into the chest. So that was my problem there. So I caught that. So there is Ultra Magnus in robot mode. And then you can actually move these down if you want, like that, if you so desire. So here he is in robot mode, and a little bit loose he's got the loose hip syndrome, which is, you know, you can apply some super glue and roughen up the actual ball connector. But anyways, articulation wise, as we take a look at the head sculpt here, which is really nice, head appears to be on a ball joint, no light piping that I can see. Shoulders on a ball joint. You have swivel at the bicep, a bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, waist articulation. And this is really interesting because the waist, actually, as you can see, there's the waist, and then there's a sort of about a ½ inch of a peg, and then the end of the peg is a ball joint. And so you do have kind of floppy articulation as such. So it's kind of loose, a little bit looser than I would like, but it's kind of interesting to point out because I don't think you see those too often, or at least they're not exposed like that too often. Of course, the hips are on a ball joint, forward, back, leg out to the side. You have a swivel there, as you can see at the hip, bend at the knee due to transformation, and the actual feet there are on ball joints. So there he is in robot mode. I'm trying to just make sure he stands up appropriately here. So let's see. Joints are a bit loose. Size comparison. Well, I don't have the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, and I don't have the Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime yet. But let me bring in Megatron from the War for Cybertron as a size comparison. And let me bring in Soundwave. And there you can see a size comparison. A bit short. And actually, now that I look at it, he's actually really short. So Ultra Magnus' head here comes up to about Megatron's chest. Same thing with Soundwave over here. So not a great size or scale comparison. So, and finally, let me go ahead and bring in Shockwave, just to show that off too and give you guys an idea of the size there. Alright, so Ultra Magnus is surrounded by giant Decepticons, as it is right now. And let me show you the weaponry. Of course, you can place the gun in his hand, like that. That looks okay. Sword goes in the hand just fine. You have him looking like that, which is pretty cool. I do like the sword on this with this figure. It's pretty cool, and of course you can use it with any other figure too. That's the nice thing. It's not really, you know, colored specifically for for Ultra Magnus. Like for example, this is not a blue sword, so you can use it with another figure probably just fine in terms of integrating the color scheme. So there you go, and you can store said sword on the back. There's a peg hole there. You can do it like this, you know, looks really badass, like that, over the shoulder, like that, for storage, which is pretty cool. So there you go, the Fall of Cybertron, or Generations Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Ultra Magnus. Pretty cool figure. The joints are loose. Again, that can be fixed. But I was really surprised at the size of this figure in terms of how short he was as compared to his, you know, from some of the War for Cybertron Deluxe figures, especially Megatron there. So yeah, I like the character of Ultra Magnus, but the figure itself is not my favorite. So far I've reviewed Air Raid and now this guy, and so far I like the other figures more than this, but I love the sword. It looks pretty darn cool. So there you go. Alright guys and gals, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.